been a long day at call. Reason to make this video because I'm starting to get a little range anxiety. For me to go home, I'm gonna arrive at 4% charge. Currently at 20%. Well, I left at 20%. Actually, it's starting to creep up because initially it said 2%, and I was thinking, you know what, I stopped at a supercharger, but it's late. It's almost midnight. I just want to go home and sleep. So, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just go home, push it, and see what it's like. I know I have the confidence knowing that the superchargers along my route, that I shouldn't have any issues there. So it's just one of those things. If they were for gas, if I had to stop for gas, I wouldn't want to stop for gas. I'm just tired. But we'll see. This is what I bought the car for, knowing that there'll be times like this. And one of the reasons I went with Tesla was the supercharger network. I know with the whole thing with now Ford and GM is partnership, that sort of advantage sort of goes away, but still I think having access to the chargers like this, knowing that is reliable, it works. I don't know, I may or may not stop, but I'll see what it looks like when it gets closer to home. If it goes down to like 2% again, I'll pull over to the supercharger. If not, I'm plugging it home. Keep you guys posted. So it's increasing. I'm at 5% now. I'm assuming as the battery's warming up, it's getting more efficiency. However, I am hitting a headwind, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it keeps. Like I said, this is going up, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just go home. Let's get the supercharger, but it is really windy. 10% equals 31 miles, and I have 17 miles left, so yeah, I'll have enough. Alright, I'm a few miles away. I'm just kind of looking at my watt hours per mile to see what I'm normally consuming. What I've learned is obviously the lower number for watt hours is kind of like your equivalent to like your miles per gallon, I guess, on the cars with your, MPGs. So I guess a good watt hour per mile is like in the 200s. 300s is kind of like, I feel like, is average. I could be wrong, let me know in the comments. But I feel like the 300s is sort of like the high is sort of a watt is poor. So there's that. But and I made it home 5%. So better than the 2% is predicting, and it kept fluctuating between 4 and 5. So hurry up and get plugged in, get it charged, and I just got a warning. Probably because it cools off. Alright, so go ahead and get plugged in. It wasn't too bad actually at all. I felt like I knew, even if the car told me what I was going to get, then it did it. I didn't record over long enough. One more loop. And these things here are nice. I'll link this in the description. This goes over here. So when I shut the garage door, it has a gap, a little channel, so it doesn't crush the cord and damage it over time. So this car is going to be 6 hours and 30 minutes before it's at my 90% limit. It's still ramping up now. It's at 9 kilowatt, 11 kilowatts, 6 hours, 40 minutes. I'm already at 5%. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go get to bed. Think like this way, as far as Tesla being able to share their supercharger network to the cars. Imagine if it was that where BMW, had gasoline and Ford had gasoline cars, and Ford had made their own gas stations. But then BMW says, "Hey, can we use some gas stations?" And apparently you can't. So all these other manufacturers, Chevrolet and Ram, Dodge, whatever, they can't use Ford's gas station because Ford has all the gas stations. And that's sort of what I'm getting at is, we got to be able to adopt and open up the network for everybody else. I can see the other side of it too, especially as a Tesla owner. I can see where, I purchased a Tesla for the reasons of having the benefit of the network, the best of the best. May I have tried something else different if the prices were equivalent, but what pushed me over the edge was the charging network. And I'm gonna get more into that later as far as why I think Tesla still may be a better bet even with networks being shared. Another reason is, look at, so imagine if Apple said that only Apple TV users can watch Apple TV Plus. And I'm talking about Apple TV Plus like your Netflix subscription-based, streaming service, what movies and shows. But what if you only had Apple TV to watch it? And that's sort of the same thing. And I hope you probably track with me so far. So yeah, I do think that there's gonna be some crowds, and I think there may be some things to figure out. But if we don't fix the problem, don't make it better. There are people out there who are towing trailers. How are they going to be able to road trip? And you can't say, well, towing electric and everything else. Towing with gasoline cars are the exact same thing. A car towing or a truck, you're going to lose more than half of your gasoline range, or your mile per gallon is going to cut in half. And trust me, I've done this before. I towed, your 20 mile per gallon car is going to be 10 mile per gallon when you're towing something heavy. And that's the sort of the same things once you get a truck. So the range may be 350 miles or 300 miles, but then maybe 150 when you're towing. So it's apples and apples. It's the same. It's all the same when you look at it. But being able to charge like that, having more charges available to you, especially when you're towing, would be beneficial. Obviously, if something like a truck, it's going to be more. It's going to take longer. But just like any other car, like, if you take a regular truck, it's going to be a 26, 27 gallon fuel tank. It's equivalent to having a, 135 kilowatt hour battery. I'll get a little bit more on the batteries at the end. I might describe it. Actually, I'm going to do it now. Let's talk about the batteries now, if I have some battery left. So, think about it this way. This car is a 78 kilowatt hour battery. When you talk about batteries, you have different options. Or when you talk about batteries, they're different sizes, and that's sort of how cars are rated based on their size. The battery sort of helps give us range, but it's the battery's capacity. Sometimes batteries are designed to give more power. Sometimes batteries are heavy, so you can't just throw a big battery pack in a car just to give it extra range, because it weighs a lot more. It carries a lot more weight. So 78 kilowatt hour battery is equivalent to saying, like, I have a 16 gallon fuel tank, and with 135 kilowatt hour battery on a truck, electric truck, is about equivalent to saying I'm having a 26 gallon fuel tank on the truck. So that's how I look at it. There's kilowatts, kilowatt hours, and I might have to go into this because now my camera is dying as of right now. I got the icon. All right, so here we are again, changing everything again. But think of it this way: you have kilowatt hours is total capacity of a battery. Kilowatts is the energy that's going into a battery or being used. So a hybrid car is going to have something, let me look up, just say like a Prius. So 8.8 kilowatt hour battery for a Prius, and that's a hybrid car. But that battery is designed to be charged and discharged quickly. It's not made to power the car solely as its main power. It's only made to assist. So by being a smaller battery, it can recharge the battery faster from just braking, the regenerative braking, going down the hill or something like that. The regenerative braking can recharge those batteries faster. The engine can turn on and recharge that battery faster because it's really small. But the regenerative braking on something that's a 78 kilowatt hour battery like the Tesla I'm in right now isn't going to, you're not going to see the percentage go up from stopping with traffic. But it can minimize your losses. That's why these cars do so well in stop and go traffic as opposed to the highway. Where in the highway, you are pushing through the wind. You have that wind resistance. The faster you're driving, the more the battery has to push through that wind. You see what I'm saying? So the main thing is charging. Try to use the superchargers for road trips if you can, or if you need it, emergency situations. Don't buy these cars and it's like, oh, I'm just going to use superchargers. Because what's going to happen is you're going to trade your gas stops for supercharging stops. And then your ownership experience is, you're gonna find it very it's gonna be unsatisfactory for you. Just put it that way, because you're gonna have to drive somewhere to say, oh, I gotta charge my car. I gotta drive up to 10 miles up the road to go to the charger, and drive 10 miles back, and that's sit there, and of course you're not gonna top off for just 10 minutes. You're gonna sit there probably a good 40 minutes to working. Maybe you can make it work for you and kill some time. But if, like I said, everybody's doing that, it just makes the chargers be clogged up. Like I said, the best way is charge at home. I really think the infrastructure isn't ready just yet for everyone to be electric. So I totally understand if you say, you know what, I don't want to do it. And I was like that too. I just think for me and my purpose, and maybe for your purpose too, you may be able to save some money, over time. If you're looking to buy a new car, if you say, I'm willing to buy a new car, but I don't know if I should go gas or electric. First, what are you doing? Are you using the car for commuting? Is the car your second car? If you have a gasoline car, perfect. I think it's a good way. If you using this car for commuting, I think it's a good option. If you're using this car as your sole car and this car is doing everything, I will probably stay with the Tesla just because of their charging. And like I said, I know the other manufacturers are opening up their charging network, Tesla. But I still think, personally, in my humble opinion, that the Tesla is still going to be better to have because these cars are optimized to be able to use the Tesla supercharger. So in that sense, we can take advantage of this higher curve. If you're wanting to get electric just for the convenience of not stopping at a gas station, if you hate getting gas in your car, if you're someone who just hate putting gas in your car, that's another good reason too. For my commute, I was stopping every 3 days, and I don't know anyone out there who says I enjoy stopping and putting gas in my car. To me, that is an inconvenience. Don't get me wrong, I'm a car guy. I love the smell. This may sound funny, but the smell of gas sometimes is like, oh, it's, gas. I like race fuel. But the pulling over and stopping, having a credit card and wait and pump the gas, I'm just like, man, this just sucks. But tell you what, it's nice. It's nice for me right now with this electric car to just leave my house with the charge. 80%. Boom. I'm good to go. I used to be 90%, but now Tesla's changed it. Now they want 80% to be the limit, which I don't know. If you have solar in your house, Tesla just came out with this new thing. I may do a separate video on it, where instead of selling back to your power company for pennies on a dollar, you can actually use the solar and it'll feed into the car. Now, those third-party app I used to use, Charge HQ, but now the Tesla app allows you to have it there, and I would rather just use the Tesla app because it keeps track of all the charging stats a little bit easier to know I'm not spending the money putting into it. Confuses a little bit more when I'm using third-party apps, so I just decided to use Tesla app, and it's working fine for me. I don't have a lot of solar in my house where I have a lot of extra excess, but for me, I was able to gain 10% the other day and I wasn't doing anything. I just plugged the car in and then went about my day, and I wasn't doing anything, and all the extra solar gave me 10% extra. That's free. That's free fuel. That's from the sun. So that's another big thing. I mean, like I said, buying these cars and saying, oh, I'm buying this car to save money. The cost of the car going into, I wouldn't buy it, get rid of your gasoline car to change it. But if you're looking for a new car and you need a new car, there'd be something option. But thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if it's something that you like. And like I said, those who are used my link so far, thank you so much. Let's see who's been using my link so far. So those have used my link so far, and I'm gonna put it here on the screen. Aaron ordered a Model 3, appreciate it. Caitlin ordered a Model Y, I appreciate that, thank you so much. Kenny, Model 3. Zach, Model 3. Omar, Model 3. Joshua, looks like yours is still in order. So I hope you get yours soon. And then Sheaf, ordered Model 3. Appreciate it so much for, using my link. And that tells me that my video has made a difference. It's sort of, I don't want to say like I'm on this Tesla cult, but if there's something, is there something I like, a product that I liked, and I feel like I share, like I said, but I do BMW content. I talk about, I like BMW. I like BMW. I don't mind promoting or saying, hey, look, I like this. And it's nice that Tesla give me something back in return. And it gives you something, obviously, for buying the car. So anyway, congratulations to those who ordered. And if you, like I said, my link will be in the bottom if you want to order one for yourself.